Hello, everyone. My name is Onyx Dude, and if you saw my last YouTube video, you would have saw this transition shot of chaos as a loading screen. I'm gonna teach you how to do it. So here we are in Adobe Premiere. This is the program I use for making actually all my videos nowadays. It is possible to do something like this in DaVinci Resolve. Really, as long as you have the ability to remove green screens from these frames animation, you are perfectly fine to use whatever you want. So, for reference, my settings here for this timeline is 30 frames per second. Because it is 30 frames per second, each individual animation cell here is about 2 frames long. Of course, you can mess around with this depending on which game you're playing. Like I know Blaze Blue has very specific number of frames for each self animation. So mess around with what looks natural, as long as it looks natural and it flows well when you cycle your animation, then you should go with that. With that being said, I already did most of the work here, but for demonstration purposes, I will show you how to remove a green screen in Premiere. To remove a green screen in Premiere, you would come over to the Effects tab down here, and you would type in Ultra key, or just Ultra, and you can see here under Video Effects, keying and then Ultra key. This is what you want. You grab it, and I will put it on the first one. And then under the effect controls up here, you will come down to where you see Ultra key. You don't need to look at anything else. The only thing you really need is the key color. And under the key color, we're going to have the eyedrop tool and place it over what we want to remove, which is, of course, the green screen. And then you have a nice transparent cutout of this cell, and make sure loop is enabled. It is. If we hit play, you can see we get a nice clean animation cycle for hide walking. With this, we can open up another timeline. You can see here already, this doesn't work on this, but this is effectively just the animation that we created over here, the hide sprites. Take that timeline and put it into the new one called hide loading. As you can see, this is what it looks like, and I'll try to center it just a little bit, make it look a little bit better. So from here, to change the color of this, we would type in color. We come all the way down to the 4-color gradient, which is already on this effect here on this video. As you can see, we have the 4 colors. We have yellow, green, pink, purple, and then we have a dark blue. Give you this nice gradient here. Now, of course, you can mess around with the color settings here to make them change colors. For the project I used, the chaos loading, I simply just made them white. So I'll go ahead and replicate that by making it white. There you see, all white. You get a nice clean animation of all white hide just walking in place, which looks good. So the only thing it needs now is the text, which I will put on here. The text font I'll be using will be Arial. I'll use Arial regular. And I'll just type do like this. It gets a little weird on here, but what all caps we'll do loading ... and get rid of this. You're gonna select our text and center it. And there you go. And make sure that the text graphic is as long as our actual animation loop. And there you go. Now, if you want to make this look a bit more interesting, what you can do is that we can add the fade in, fade out effect. And for that, all you really need to do is click on the loading cell here, and we're going to come to our opacity, and we're going to create a keyframe on the very first frame, like such. And we're gonna jump forward about 9 frames. Create another keyframe and set it to 0. And then jump forward again to about 18 frames. Create one more keyframe and then bring it back to 100. Yeah, as you can see, you get a nice, clean, repeating loop of just HUD walking with the text loading. And of course, you can change the color of the text as well. If you want to put the for color gradient on the text, then you can make the text look like a gradient as well. If you want to have it match the gradient of, say, if hide was still a gradient, you could definitely do that. This is definitely a lot you can do, but this is just a very basic breakdown of something you can do for this effect. One last thing I will point out, if you want to go above and beyond, you can actually bring this over to After Effects and you can create a custom text animation, which there are plenty of tutorials on YouTube. So I highly suggest just looking up text animation After Effects if you have access to that program. And just look around and what looks good. You can bring over the animation of Hyde walking or whatever animation you want, bring it over, and then you would plug in your text and then you can make it look way cooler and way more interesting. But this is it for the basic tutorial. So I hope you found this useful. Thank you for your time and have a good day.